Good morning. This is International Master and FIDE Senior Trainer Sekhar Sahu welcomes you on behalf of Sports Authority of Gujarat for the live commentary of round 7 of ongoing National Senior Women Chess Championship at Ahmedabad. So let's have a quick look at the opening moves of the round 7 from the top board. So there are Soumya Swaminathan, Bhakti, then Mary versus Monica, then Rebecca versus Mahalakshmi, Varsini versus Dehankar Mudul, Tejaswini Sagar versus Divya Deshmukh. Okay, let's have a look at the game. Soumya Swaminathan versus Bhakti Kulkarni. So it is a French defense and Soumya goes for the aggressive Nimzowitsch system. So this is the main line. White can play Queen G4, White can play Bishop check, White can play, so many moves are there. Knight F3 is there, Queen G4 is there. Okay, let's go to the next game. It is Mary versus Monica Bomini. So it is an English opening. The game has just begun. And next, interesting position. After the move E4 C6, advanced variation NC3 E6 G4. One of the idea of White is to play knight to E2 and knight F4 followed by H4. Knight to E2 and knight F4 and H4 will force some H6, then a bad structure. But this is not a very reliable line. Maybe better would have been H4 directly. That is good. Or the cool move here, either H4 is good when H5 is correct, or NF3 B2 and castle, not knight C3 here. Now here knight F3 E6 B2 and castle Nigel shot variation is more desirable. So White's choice is very sharp, but it is not without counter attack possibilities. Okay. Varsini versus Mudul Dehankar. So Mudul Dehankar goes for the Korchnoi attack or variation of Karokan, which is quite popular at top level nowadays. The drawback of the variation is that black cannot go for a knight and pawn ending or a king pawn endgame because of White's queenside pawn majority. At the same time, in a middle game, it is not easy to attack the black king position because pawn F6 is controlling vital E5 and G5 square. So it offers more defensive resources. However, this position overall is White is little better as per the current theory. So here bishop to D6, bishop D3. So the player have blitzed through very fast. Everything is theory. The whole point is theory. White is intending at a right moment to exploit the diagonal. White is centralized and seems to have better prospect. However, he must watch black's kingside operation. 13 moves in hardly 2 minutes. This is Tejaswini Sagar versus Divya Deshmukh. So we see yet another Korchnoi attack or variation today. So the point is that black is at a crossroad. In case he plays bishop to h5, then knight f4, then he is forced to concede one of these bishops. And bishop e6, there is knight f4 possibility. So black is at a crossroad. I think white position is slightly better already, because bishop h5, knight f4 will come. Not g4 weakening the king side, but knight f4 and bishop g6. But then bishop into bishop, h pawn into, then white will have little chance of attack in that kind of pawn structure. So black has the better bishop and some piece activity. I would say that there is very little prospect of sharp play. Now this logical is knight f4, bishop g. You cannot give the black square bishop, so bishop g6 and knight into g6, h into g6 is the, I mean, followed by knight d7. The game is roughly equal, not much. Is this Sai Sarapalli versus Padmini Raut. So white plays, black plays for Banco or Benoni setup in mind. This is a very passive move. This is very passive here. White has taken a very passive stand. Now on pawn into pawn, suppose white plays dc5, then knight a6 and recover the pawn in the better center, and on c3 you can just castle black. So white has to do something quickly, otherwise black will play pawn takes pawn and d5, offering white a weak d pawn. Now in c3 castle, if white plays continue to play passively, then black may play pawn into pawn, e into d4 and d5. So it is very interesting what white has in mind, because now even d5, still it will not change the character of the game. Still black can go for Banco or Benoni. This is Mitika Malik versus Esa Karode. Okay. So here black should just play bishop to b6 or a7. There is not much to gain from. Very the dull opening. Who is this? Srija Seshadri versus Nimi George. So it has gone to a Sicilian classical rouser attack. So black goes for the Kozulzenko's favorite setup. And theoretically, here bishop into knight is the right move. Normally, most of the players play here bishop into f6, not queen f6, that is bad. After queen f6, it is bad, but gf6. And then the game goes normal course, but the bishop retreat, not sure whether it is okay, because black has knight g4. Black can play here knight g4, and he will have a bishop pair without doubling his pawns. Knight g4, what are you going to do? Because knight into knight, c6, bishop c6, bd4 can be met with e5. Knight g4 is correct. b5. All right, in this position, normally bishop is given, so white could have played queen e7 and queen a7 sometime, or rook a7 and rook to c7 or etc. But now with bishop on the board, so okay, this is not a very great setup. For example, now you can choose to play bishop e7, and after bishop e2 you can play nd7, should be leading to equality. Okay, this Sneha Haldar versus Chitrange Sakhi. In the previous round, Sneha Haldar pulled an upset by beating IM Nisa Mohta in a roughly probably equal game, and here today she is meeting IM from Maharashtra, WIM from Maharashtra, Chitrange Sakhi. Yeah, the point setup of black, that normally imagine now instead of e6, if black plays e5, then white will castle, and in case of bishop d6, white can offer a gambit with pawn b4, which he is unable to do now. But that should not be the logic to play passively with e6. So I think that it is white should just castle, and black played bishop d6. How can white continue here? I would go for knight to a3, challenging him black to give the bishop for knight. That would be just bad. b file open and double bishop. Knight a3, and if you castle, knight to c2. After black castle, knight c2, pawn e5, s3. The game is interesting. s3 followed by rook e1 and threatening to play b4. So knight a3 is the right approach for Sneha Haldar here. I don't know. There can be other moves also. Something like s3 is possible. s3 is also possible. a3, no. This is not the best move. Not the best move. a5 will come, and then yeah. Not very enterprising. Who is this? Saina Salonika versus Kiran Manisha Mahanti. So it is today all Orissa state affair between the two players, WGM versus WIM. Saina Salonika is WIM, and Kiran Manisha, Kiran Manisha WGM, E4, C5. So out for a sharp battle. Now the position, normally in the position here, nd4, queen d4, castle, white plays for something like f4, but here white opted. The whole point is now queen a5 does not get a tempo. Queen a5 is not getting a tempo. So it is a waiting move, I think less ambitious. I would say it is not great here. Not great here. The game could continue rook d8. Rook to d8 is quite good. Should be okay. White is giving a threat of nd5. Is not very convincing. Now the threat of nd5, so that queen into queen, there is a knight check is there. So black can reply here, queen to c7, because rd8 will, you have to consider the bishop. So queen to c7, then f4, then b5 maybe. I don't see that white has played less sharply. The move kb1 and h4 is not the best way. Of course, the approach is cautious, not willing to take risk, because in this setup, without offering counterplay, white is preparing to bring the rook sometime via h3 to g3. Queen to c7 is very safe move. I cannot understand why this move is necessary, because this gives a freedom by pawn d5. Pawn d5 frees the game. Now instead of after this move knight e2, there is no reason black should not play. You need not wait for bishop b7. bb7, because knight f4 can come. Knight f4 can come. That is why you play straight away d5. Bishop into f6 does not work well. I think it's a very comfortable game after d5. Black should play d5 and absolutely fine for black. This is Sarayu versus Arpita Mukherjee. So goes for the old main line of Sicilian Nasdor. Not the best move order, because here the whole idea, if black plays queen to b6, white has knight b3 and very small advantage. So idea of the move is now knight b3, you have queen e3 check. But I think it is not the best way, because creating a pawn weakness on the king side, it is not desirable. Because for example now white can play a3 and followed by be3. White can play a3 here, when queen takes b2 will be a blunder, and the next move he will follow up with bishop to f2. What is he going to do? I think this should be good. I even saw some player offering a pawn gambit at a knight b3 later on. Queen check, then some queen e2, queen into pawn. There is, I don't remember the players, but somewhere it was played. Maybe not the best move. I would go for simply a3. Simply a3, where queen into b2 is taboo. And the follow-up of white will be bishop f2. a3, maybe be7, and then bishop f2. I think it's okay. All right. Yeah, this is what he did. Maybe this is not the best move at the moment. I would go for the chef or be2, because it covers the g4 square and ready to castle. be2 is just, white is little better already. The game is taking a very sharp turn, but I don't consider that the white strategy is correct to concede the white square bishop. Hardly white can count on an advantage here. The knight to knight is not working, and that black is ready to castle also long. So white's advance of king side pawns have only, I would say, made some weaknesses. Not correct. It's not correct. Black position is better. When he played queen f3, at this point, be2. be2 is very correct move, preparing to castle with a clear advantage. So let's see the next game. Yasika Raut versus Isha Sharma. So the young Orissa girl Yasika Raut, and black is WIM Isha Sharma. Let's have a look at the opening. So it is a rare variation of close Roy Lopez. Okay, it's a very solid reputation. Both players are throwing the opening moves very rapidly. All this is known to theory. So white stands better, little better. Now black should continue with c6 break is not coming here. Little better for white anyway. The next. Who is this? Pratisha Boda versus Shivani. So we have a French advanced variation. So goes for the gambit line. More prudent would be knight into knight and queen e2 with the idea and into and f3. For the pawn, white has got a good compensation. For the pawn, white has got, very good compensation. This development wise, and center is also not so bad because that pawn on e5 is cramping. Okay. So white is looking for a possibility to some queen h5, creating weaknesses, and h6 is not the best move because creating a hook there for a future sacrifice of white. Not correct. For example,
You are at which board number?
board number 13.
Board number 13.
Yeah.
Pratyusha versus Shivani.
Yeah. So g6 is bad, and on h6 white can enter knight h7, rook into knight and bishop into, then g6 he has queen g4. Not so easy. So h6 would enter knight there, and on g6 He's creating a lot of black square weaknesses. Let's see the Visavasnawala game.
It is 14.
Yeah. So Gujarat's star player, young star player.
Before N6, before G6, G3, bishop G7, bishop G2, castle, G3, B6, knight F3, C5.
Yeah, the knight tour variation is supposed to be cramping and it's positional. It is good. Good move. It stops the maneuver because knight c4, knight e5. So knight g4 and knight e5 is the plan which white stops. a4. I guess this everything is theory and supposed to be slight better game for white. White is slightly better because here in some at some point of time, if black allows white to post a knight on a5, then he will be in trouble.
Why
Uh,
rook on A2, sir?
no, to free the bishop and support so that in future doubling is there possible and defending a weakness. And here black has to watch two things: white e4 e5 break, one point, and second a knight coming to a5 at some point of time. So I guess that already positionally white is better. White is better.
So
See,
what will be the ideal move for black here? Bishop
no,
E7.
because rook has moved. You see, the rook move takes the rook away from the long diagonal of bishop. So I can play b3 without having any fear. b3 with the idea nc4. It should be good.
I am asking about black's ideal move.
Black's ideal move here that black should anyway try to go on king side with knight to h5 and f5 f4.
So knight F6, knight H5.
Yeah, because g4 is bad
Yeah.
and eventually black will go for king side.
Yeah.
But the problem is normally in such a situation, instead of knight b6, black knight should have been on e5
Yes.
to give some sacrifices enter. So with a knight on b6, so with the idea of king side attack may not be fully foolproof. Anyway, knight h5 should be played. Otherwise, black is without life because knight g4 is not possible. So knight h5 since g4 is bad, f4 is bad. So you get time for f5.
So can black directly play knight on E5 here? But F4 is coming.
Black knight on
E5.
knight e5. How can it come? Knight h5 is the correct move.
No,
That
there is a two move as we played.
to move earlier. Earlier. So I would say the whole set of
Go forward. Yes, yes, for, yes, no, yes, yes. And now white has split pencil.
I don't think this is not good. There is no king side attack. I don't see any point of black strategy because only if you play some b3 and c4 he has a point. So I would think this is not very wise. I would say here white should be play king h2 or protecting the s3 point so that bishop can be free to operate.
Actually, white can be planning to do the b3 knight c4 because the knight on c3 was hanging. Bishop can take
Yeah.
c3. That's why queen c2 might be happening on this point.
All right. So this is white slightly better. This is Suhani
Gupta
Gupta.
Shuri versus Saran.
So white has got already a small advantage. This variation, I think black's play is not no. This is a bit premature. I would say queen d2. If you play bb7, be3, bd3, white should be better. But this is a bit premature.
Right now, white's plan is to go on the king side, and almost all the pieces of black is inside. So,
It's bad.
yeah,
White stands better. So technically, white is better, but you can't play queen check and get rid of queen.
you can first get rid of the
Yeah.
knight and then give king check.
Okay. This Bristol Mukherjee game already end game is approaching in hardly
Which board is that?
in half an hour, just half an hour.
Almost 70. Half an hour ago.
They
Okay.
have reached an end game so fast.
Only 16 more minutes came to an end game. Okay, what has been played? E4, C4.
Now bishop check.
Caro cancer.
Yeah, this is a theory. The whole line is theory, and the position is just equal. The whole line is theory. It is supposed to be equal only.
Going to be long and
Yeah, it is
first
equal,
position.
equal. Okay. Let's return to the top board. There is not much interesting.
Swaminathan versus Bhakti Kulkar.
So Nimzovich variation and
Yes, Nimzovich.
white is playing aggressively. White is playing quite aggressively and what about pawn now pawn takes pawn, queen c3, queen d2, queen exchange. White has got the superior position after the queens of the board. So though queens off will be relieve little, but a very passive position. Pawn takes pawn, pawn takes pawn, queen c3 check. Then queen d2 is necessary,
Yeah.
and then queen into queen, bishop into queen, and c6. The position is slightly better for white only because black has little.
Play knight c6. Rook takes d7 is coming.
Knight c6 is attacking the pawn, no c3 pawn, d4 pawn.
But after b7, knight takes d4.
Yeah, so
Okay, so first white has to do
c3,
c3 and then
and then black will castle long, but the position is passive and white has lot of space. Even without queen, this is a queenless middle game where white has enjoying lot of space and create trouble on the king side.
yeah. What if black just blocks the c4?
Oh, that would be unwise because then he give a free hand to white to operate for g4, f4, f5.
Yeah.
That is c4 is a positional blunder
Okay.
because
Black has to keep white occupied on both.
yeah, white will play g4, f4, bs3, and knight f3. Anything he can do.
Yeah.
Just c4 is very bad.
Okay. But what is the answer for h5 rather than capturing the pawn?
h5, I think black should prevent h6 because after h6, g6 there is a serious weakness of f6 square. So I would say that h6 is compulsory.
Yes.
Compulsory.
That has came on the board. by Bhakti.
But anyway, white is better because now I think think white is better anyway.
So what will be black's plan? Knight on f5, but g4
Mm,
is coming.
no, now black will try to castle long and try for some break on the king side. But anyway, white has the already better game.
Also,
Already.
black can play knight on c6.
Yeah, but there is no threat only. Knight on c6. Now you can just play queen g4.
Yes.
Knight f5, bd3 is, or nf3 is good. Idea bd3. Because knight f5 is not settled. He will push the knight with g4 anytime.
Yeah.
So I guess white is enjoying lot of space and very comfortable game on the top board. With white has the better prospect. However, Bhakti Kulkarni is experienced and Soumya is also experienced. Both have played for the Indian team in Olympiads and many internationals. Still, I would go for white only. I will put my money for white. 12 का भाव मैंने चाहिए. What are these colors? अच्छा अच्छा अच्छा, okay okay okay. So here, this is white better on the top board. I would say it is, I would not say plus minus, but very close to plus minus.
Yes. That we can say.
Mary.
Man versus Bobby.
White position is slightly better. White position is slightly better.
Slightly better.
Hmm. Who is this? Mahalakshmi. Okay. For singing Mridul Dhankar is so everything is theory. Everything is theory. H5 and after H3. Uh, so it is good to see that the Indian girls are now working on theoretical main lines. So their coaches and data, it all helps to fight with interesting ideas. I guess F4, I don't know if it is theoretical move, but it creates a lot of weaknesses. The E3 square, G3 square. I doubt this move. I doubt suspicious F4. The suspicious move. G6 is not the correct approach here. Okay. So let's return to Tejaswini and Divya Deshmukh. Black has the better game because The scope of the white bishops are less here, and black has an excellent control of e4 square. So black has the better resource, but white can only bank on his queenside majority with queens and rooks are exchanged and king will be free to come and operate. So it is desirable that black keeps the heavy pieces on the board for the operation.
Whose operation you are doing right now?
Dibya Deshmukh and Tejaswini Sagar.
Okay, let me come
So-
to that position.
Yeah,
They
this
are playing on what number?
7 or 8, I think.
Some fifth. Yes. Okay. So you were saying.
Black has the better prospect
Okay. Divya has a better prospect.
because Queen F3 with the idea to seize the E file.
Queen actually is yes. E4. So now
Queen F3 is a good move because immediately preparing rook E1.
black can do queen d7 and go rook e8.
Not Queen D7. Black should play Queen to E6.
Queen to e6. Okay. So temporarily stopping rook on e1.
Yeah, and also
First white has to defend the a2 pawn.
want to create a weakness basically.
Yes. So if b3 comes, there is a a3 weakness from where bishop can come.
Then you can play here. If B3 comes, you can play Queen to D5.
Yes.
If Queen exchange,
After queen on e6, c4 can come.
yes, but that would weaken the D4 point. Then Queen D7 can come.
Okay.
And
Just for weakening the pawns,
so-
queen e6 can come.
Queen E6, B3, then Queen to D5. Because after Queen exchange, that there is a fantastic outpost at D4
Yes.
and superior bishop. Queen E6, I think logical move is B3.
Yeah.
Then Queen to D5. Run. Because the Queen E2 will run to Rook E8.
Yes.
And Queen exchange is not good. Right? And you cannot dislodge that easily. What are you going to do now? Queen has to move. If Queen F4 and Knight E4.
Also after queen d5, king f2 is not coming. Knight d4 is coming.
After Queen D5, Queen into Queen, and CD is good for black.
Yeah.
But it is not very, because the Queen position is shaky. So maybe Queen F1 and then black has to play BB6, make a room for his Queen.
Yeah.
With the Queen return to Bishop B6 diagonal. Right?
Yes.
So I think Queen E6 is very logical and offers equal chances. I would not say because the king side for white is shaky, whereas white should play on queen side.
What if white goes for anyway rook on e1 after queen e6 and gives up a2?
I don't see any big prospect because F2 F7 point is not, there is time. I just grab it. Black should be ruthless to grab the pawn.
Yes.
How are you going to now work it out? No rook e7 coming,
Yeah.
and black will have a pleasant choice to return the pawn at any 4 any time.
Okay, after queen e6, let's say white wants to go first h3. So if queen d5 comes, king can come to f2.
Yeah, that is bad anyway because creating another weakness on king side, it is unwise because knight h5 can come sometime and rook e8 will come right away.
Yeah, here come.
So queen d5 is a critical move and queen e6 is a critical move, and I would like to say that in this position on queen e6 maybe queen f1 directly,
Maybe queen f1 direct.
but knight e4 is coming.
Black you got the knight. Can jump the pawn and create some trouble for white.
How should white react to queen e6?
I think the ideal move will be B3 only.
After b3, queen d5. Challenging him to take goat for the end game with a fantastic outpost. That would be plus for black if queen exchange. So the queen must retreat. But where?
That's important thing. Queen cannot go to F2. Knight B4 is coming.
No, knight e4 only will come.
No, bishop is there. Bishop can just F2.
No, that pawn, queen into pawn into. So I would go for good bishop, bad bishop.
Okay.
The only best manner piece is the white square bishop. And if that is gone, then white has nothing to.
And black will try to do that only.
Followed by f5.
Bishop
We will capture with pawn and f5. It's a protected pawn.
Yeah.
I think Divya will play queen to e6 only after thinking. Why she is thinking so long?
Okay.
This is so obvious.
My idea is to go queen g3 after queen d5, threatening to do bishop c4. After that, queen takes d6.
No, queen e6, then you play
Queen e6, b3,
queen d5.
d5, queen g3. Now I am threatening to do bishop c4,
Bishop knight e4 comes.
attacking the queen. Queen has to go back or even. Otherwise, bishop on d2.
Then rook e8 will come.
Now bishop c4.
Yeah, bishop c4 is not great. The queen to a5 will come. That there is rook is against queen, and this is nothing here. This is nothing.
Queen to a5 and then g3.
No. Now let us say queen e6. You are playing b3.
Yeah.
Queen d5.
Hmm.
Queen g3. Knight to e4.
Hmm.
Then
Then I am saying queen on e1,
rook to e8.
bishop c4.
Queen to a5.
Now I am saying g3.
g3.
No, knight x c3 is coming.
g3
No,
is
knight x c3 is not coming. No.
no. G3 is bad because creating another hole on the king side is bad.
No, putting g3 just because so that black bishop on d2 can be free by playing c4 after moving the white bishop.
Rook against queen, it is not desirable. For example, now black can play here. Now pawn to b5 is possible. Idea queen b6 and intending c5. I don't think it's a
d5
good.
and then bishop has to come back on d3.
Yeah, then queen to b6.
Queen to b6 and now c4.
No, you lose the d pawn for nothing. Queen at b6. How can you play c4? Queen a5. Then you
Yes,
go.
queen d6. Okay, d4 is hanging.
I think this is enterprising move, but the young girl is thinking.
Yeah, and she might find better move than us.
There cannot be choice of moves here.
Yeah.
Either queen d7 or queen e6.
Unless and until we use an engine.
Other move is actually queen to d7. But why play? Why not play little aggressively?
After yesterday's game, I think she is going to go for a safe approach.
So, okay, all right.
Ball number 2. Oh, sorry. Let's move to ball number 1 first. Okay.
So
Rook h3.
as I said, rook s3 is coming.
Yes.
White is getting better and better and better
Why
slowly.
doesn't want to do castle? No, what is that? Attacking from both sides.
Hmm?
White is not going for castle. Attacking from both the sides.
King is this is normal actually. This is very normal. White has the better game.
Okay, Mary Gomes versus Monica. D4. After E3 castling, D4 has come.
This is a bold move without worrying for the pawn weakness. So white wants to grab the initiative at all cost. Because after pawn into pawn, rook e1 is coming with a black queen is in a very bad shape.
Yeah. Also bishop g5 is coming.
First,
Bishop f4 is coming.
so white has grabbed the initiative. Highly experienced Mary in this slow system grabbed initiative. But it is not so scary. It is not so scary. Under the circumstances, black is obliged to play bd6 because if he bishop other retreat is bad, pawn into pawn should be bad.
Black can just do one move after pawn.
Already white is better.
Bishop on b4, a3 and then bd6.
Already white is better. Well played by Mary. A bold move. bd6 is obligatory.
Pawn number 3. Rebecca versus Mahalakshmi. What is happening here?
Looking for counter play. It seems to me black has a good position because white has to overextend his pawns too much.
Yeah.
This is too much already.
Black is slowly developing all of these.
The center is weak.
And if you want to go for long castle, you have to be careful of rook on c8.
Yeah, this position looks very shaky, but under the circumstances, it is very interesting to see a piece sack.
Yeah.
Hmm?
Yeah.
Knight into d5. Not possible because take and nc5 is there. Not possible.
White just goes for f4 directly.
No, f4 is not good because there will be too many weaknesses, and on f4 you can grab that c5 pawn with h5 is the threat. f4 h5 will come first.
And after g5,
And g5 you grab that knight will come and sit down at
and f5.
f5.
c7, f5.
Yeah, it will sit at f5.
I am not going anywhere. This is my permanent position as of now.
So I don't think the overextension of pawns is not correct. Not correct. Okay.
I think white can give e5 and
Rule the hand card. Very fast game they played. Very quickly.
Varshini versus Mudul.
Yeah, very fast game. This is
Sometimes we think it's going really fast.
yeah, but it I don't know.
If you know yesterday,
Hmm.
one game finished around 3:30 p.m.
Oh,
which started at 10.
marathon struggle.
Yes.
But this is I don't know whether this is a theoretical position, but isn't it very risky the way black has played? He's pushing all his kingside pawns and the queen is running out of room. You got to do something, and I think
Queen
good.
h2 is there.
No, c5 is coming with a very annoying move,
Yeah.
and queen h2 is harmless. So, good or bad, now you have to play b6 or
B
c5.
c5 first. But after c5, pawn is sitting on d5.
That is no problem. Then you have to only worry about the knight e4 move.
Yeah.
So you have time. You have time.
But how black will move its
Yeah.
knight from
So
here?
this is the king side pushing the pawn so much is uh, is a very risky job. Tejaswini versus Dibya.
It's board number 5.
So she played a very risky move. The idea she's preparing to meet rook e8 with queen d7,
Yeah.
and in queen d7 you can you can take the pawn and then rook b8.
Yeah.
But I think it's not a correct approach because the rook can come. Okay,
Rook e1, queen on a4. I think that might be a plan of black.
it's not a good idea to play this.
So if white tries to go rook on e1,
Not rook e1. I would take the pawn, queen into pawn, because the game opens more. It is more favorable for white. Queen takes pawn,
rook b8,
then queen into a7,
rook b2,
then rook to e1.
now knight e4.
Yeah, then pawn takes pawn is there. c5.
Rook takes d2, bishop is going. If you take c takes d6, rook takes d3 is coming.
No, I think pawn into pawn. If you play rook d2, rook d2. Hey, how can you play rook on e1? Acha, queen at a2 is there.
Yeah.
Queen at a2. I think bishop to c1 should be trouble for black. Rook e1, knight e4, bishop c1.
Okay. Just an idea. Bishop c1, right?
Yeah,
Knight on g4.
and rook on e1 is there, no?
No, rook on e1 is not there.
See, just variation, queen takes pawn. rb8, queen into a7. Rook into, then rook e8, rook e1,
And g4. Okay. Any 4. Then
bishop to c1.
c1 afterwards. Okay. I thought first.
You got to move your rook back, but where?
Bishop c1, bishop b8,
Huh?
bishop on b8, attacking the king.
Bishop on b8, queen into c5 is free. Thereafter it is winning. So you got to move the rook, but where? Rook has no square. b3, b4, b5. Where?
b5 is also occupied.
गणपत हो जाएगा rook.
Only b8 is there.
Yeah, b8 is passive, and then you pick up pawn freely.
Pawn takes.
Yeah.
No, but we can get. No, we cannot. Knight is pinned.
I think it's very risky line the girl has chosen,
Yeah.
and white should play boldly, queen into pawn. But the fear is that rook b8, rook 7th rank.
Yeah.
Fear is the key. Fear is the key. So she is using psychology. Black. Concrete calculation shows that white is better. Huh?
White will be better after queen b7.
Yeah. I don't see. You got to recover some pawn.
Let's find some other tactics from black if
Okay.
possible.
I can see that black has got alternative. Queen takes pawn, rb8, queen into s7, rook into. Then rook e1. Instead of playing knight e4, maybe you can go somewhere like queen to c6. Huh?
Yes. Queen c6 is possibility.
Yeah, but this position is shaky, right?
Shaky, yes.
Very shaky position. I think Queen E6 lines he should have played safely. The line which I discussed. Right?
Yes, correct.
Who is this Padmini Raut game?
Waiting for the center.
Yeah. I guess I need to see the modern theory and then I'll return to the serious chess. Because I see that so many new lines are coming, you cannot play with old knowledge.
Yeah, if you look at the games of GCL, Global Chess League, you might find some totally different modern openings being played by super GMs.
I think it needs only 6 months to update the modern theory.
Yeah. No, it's like a trend.
Maybe 3 months because the data and computer, 2 3 months is enough.
Yeah. It's like a trend. It changes every time.
So what happened here in this position? So we have got here the passive move and black plays as I said take and d5. Maybe this is not the best way. This is not the best way. b6. I guess here instead of playing this, the more more correct move here maybe. Hello?
Yes.
In the Padmini Raut game, just she played all this quickly, but I would say at the moment not b6, but I would like to play.
What would you like to play?
I would like to play here pawn into bishop to e6 first, and in case ng5, bishop f5 back. But anyway, this is also a good position. Yeah, black is intending to play knight e7. White is better. Who is this white player? Sai Kotapalli. So white stands better here. Technically, white is plus after pawn into d5, and if knight into, if pawn into, white position is much superior. Because bishop and knight on the queen side is doing nothing. I would say right now white should play c into d5, e into d5. Then you can play here. You can play here s3 or bishop f4 or e1 plus cd ed. You play here bishop f4. Okay.
Yeah.
And idea rook e1 s3. Clear, enjoying a clear advantage of center.
Let's see what white will do.
That should be the logical course of the game.
Yeah.
Pawn into d5. White stands better, leaves black with two passive pieces.
Okay, Mritika Malik versus Isha Karam, board number 7.
Yeah, yes, board number 7. It was dull Guico piano. Wow, that's symmetrical. This is a totally symmetrical structure and copycat. You can see here. Yep, after this pawn into, knight into, pawn into, queen, then queen, s3 h6. This is just,
They are sticking to the basics.
he says you come forward. He says you come forward. I'll see. So both are inviting each other.
Pawn, develop the knight, develop the bishop, castle. After that, you can move your queen. Do not
No,
repeat
black.
moves.
Black has the little better game.
Yeah.
Equal it should be after bishop e3. Why leave that piece? Exchange that also.
Bishop E3, queen on A3.
There is nothing.
Yeah, only one difference, one or two difference. Black's knight is on F6, white is on
Symmetrical structure, and
black's pawn is on A5.
now after some 10 moves, shake hand for a draw.
Yeah. No, not after 10 moves. It's 14 moves only.
Okay, rule is 30. 30 moves.
Yes, it should be. But if there is only two kings left,
Sija Seshadri. White stands better.
okay, what will white do?
E5, obviously. There is no need to have a second thinking here. E5.
E5 and then F6.
Yeah. E5 and then a solid blockade of ND4, unsackable blockade. And C2 point is not a very serious thing. Okay.
In future, G4, F5 should come.
Not later. First you will consolidate knight after knight d4, b3, rook c1,
Yeah.
and thereafter go for the space on king side.
Yes.
This Sneha Haldar,
Board number 9.
yeah, Sneha Haldar, who beat WIM IM Nisa Mohta yesterday.
Oh, wow.
Ready? A sacrifice.
Wait.
A sacrifice.
So, knight F3, D5, E3.
It seems to be incorrect now. It seems to be incorrect. Not correct. How can you sacrifice? Who is this? Sneha Haldar gives a sacrifice. Is this okay? I don't see. I don't think so.
Okay, she is going for bishop D5, threatening to do a check with.
No, no,
You
no, no.
will
Here,
find the F7, but
no. You don't have to. You don't have to play. You don't have to play here. So what would you do for pawn to F5? Oh, BG5 is there.
yeah, no.
So
bishop
yeah, take.
D5.
Yeah. So this. Okay.
For saving the check, first knight has to go D8. Black knight has to go on D8.
Okay. I will go D8. So what?
Bishop. If bishop comes, then bishop E6 is saving the check. But after bishop takes, knight takes or queen takes, so what is happening? So that white has played this move.
I'm totally unconvincing sacrifice.
Let's find something might be happening.
I don't see compensation. I don't see a compensation. You can play RD8 also.
Or you can just wait for the check and rook F7 comes.
No, RD8. You can play RD8. You can play knight E8, right?
Knight D8, yes.
Knight E8 is not good because if you go bishop check, then exchange 2 times and check draw. Knight E8, that is straightforward, a forced draw is there. Check and take twice on E6 and G6 H6. So I should RD8. RD8. If the check rook into, the extra piece is stronger than the pawns here.
I think white is going for draw.
How can draw? RD8 I say, not knight E8.
D8.
No question of draw.
If bishop check, rook takes bishop.
Yes.
So bishop is already there for.
Yeah. पूरा का पूरा गया rook into and then queen g7. There is nothing. Knight will be coming there. Knight to f7 and knight to d6. I think this position is gone. Of course, he has some material. It is not all over because it is not all over.
Right now, queen cannot take knight.
Materially, it is equal, but the position, two bishops and a weak king. I would
White
say.
is just giving up knight. But
No, you can't take that knight because of bishop
After
check.
bishop g5, queen takes d5. Three pieces versus queen.
No, rook d8 now.
No, let's do queen takes e5, bishop d5, queen takes d5. Because if we play rook on
No,
f5,
on queen c5 there is a perpetual. White can just wriggle out of the mess.
yeah, that is also correct.
So black plays for a win with rook d8. Rook d8.
Rook d8, yes. Okay, let's move forward. Word number 10.
Kiran Manisha versus Saina Salan. It is all Orissa affair.
Oh,
Okay. So where I was last time. So she plays queen, f3, rook d8, bd3, b5. Here I recommended d5. Just black gets d5. Typical freeing Sicilian move.
yeah.
d5. What is he going to do? Because I am willing to take a weak pawn on d5. If you concede bf6, ed, do you think that it is a good idea to give the black square bishop and some center is also good?
But ed, black will not ed, black will take with rook.
Yeah, because bishop is e4 is not possible.
Yeah.
I think the simply d5 would have given black an easy game.
Yeah, that is correct.
Still d5. I don't understand why she is not playing d5.
So waiting for the time, perfect time. Honestly, if I say, after analyzing all these things,
Huh.
I have got inspiration to play further, which I have stopped from 5 years.
You are getting motivation.
Yes. And 10 days of motivation, it should be enough.
I feel that what I need is just 2 months with modern chess theory with all the data without stop my chess coaching. And
That is tough.
no, it is possible. It's only a matter of motivation. Age is not the problem.
You
I-
can you can manage time, but lack of motivation sometimes cannot see the time which you are already have.
Yeah.
Which you
I
already
think this position now, because it is bad now, already d5 is bad. d5 is bad now because of e5.
Yes.
And queen e5, bf4 trapping the queen. So black lost the chance of d5 or 3 times in the game. 2 times. And now d5 will be too late. After d5, e5 is crossing.
Yeah.
With queen e5, bf4. And queen d4, bs7 check. Right?
Yes.
I think white managed to consolidate the position and white is better. Now,
Okay.
okay, next.
Mukherjee Arpita versus Belfula Sarai.
I told that Arpita is already better at some point of time here.
And is sitting on e4.
Is already better for Arpita. I don't understand why you need to exchange pieces so quickly. Why not keep the bishop on the board? You play something like something like pawn a5,
Yeah.
but knight to knight and bishop exchange. So this is okay. Okay, I can understand the small initiative. Possible. Okay. Slightly better for black.
Yeah.
Who is this? Jessica Raut versus Isha Sharma. Isn't she blunder a piece? Isha Sharma, she is blunder a piece. Would you believe that? No. Yashika Raut is winning now.
No.
Why?
E4 is coming.
How can he? Okay, I thought it is uncancelled. See, that is why good that I am not playing chess. So my feeling is king is there. Okay, but still it is good for white because a passer.
I was thinking what happened.
No, no. See, there. I thought uncancelled. Okay, e4 you will take knight into and a6 pawn. e4 you will take it
Hmm.
with a grip. White stands better. Okay?
Yeah.
Because open file you can get rid of the one pair of rook and clearly better. White is better, not winning. White is better.
White is better.
So
Board number 13, both are Pratyusha versus
Shivani.
Shiva. Okay. Pratyusha is all in.
Not this. It's a,
I want to attack from this side and I want to attack from that side.
not a very good move. How would you answer with knight into e5?
Yeah, I was about to ask you that. But,
What is this? What is this Pratyusha's move? Knight e5. What are you going to do? A magic wand cannot come. Hmm?
Knight e5,
Hmm.
bishop on e3.
Bishop on e3. The queen can go to c3 also.
What is Pratyusha trying to do here? By bishop.
Then rook c1 can come, trying to trap.
But queen takes b3 is also there.
No. Rook c1 is trapping. Rook.
Oh, queen takes b3.
Now rook e c1 I am talking.
Okay, rook e7. Alright.
Knight into pawn. She has got, but black has a safe move, queen to g4, but that is a blunder. Bishop check is there.
Yeah. Bishop takes
So
queen takes
it is a sort of opening. It's a sort of banking on a trap.
yeah.
But I would say it is not wise to play like that. Not wise.
Okay, board number 14. Vishwa Asanwala versus Kalyani.
Okay. So this is not. This is playable. Knight e5, tempting knight e5 is a blunder. Knight e5 is a blunder.
Yes. Right now I am at the board number 14. Vishwa versus Cyril.
What is happening here? Bishop into knight, bishop into.
Bishop will be sticking to d4, but the knight can come whenever it wants to b2 and capture the d4. But what will white do here now? f5 is not coming, d5 will be weakness.
So white was better. What happened all this so quickly?
Okay, f4 and then e4 has been played.
No, why you have to play f4 here? Why f4? Why not pawn b3?
Yeah, exactly, push the knight. No, knight on e3 is coming
No, now pawn b3 before playing f4.
before playing f4. Pawn on b3. Then again c4 is coming.
c4 is met by pawn b4.
Okay, using their pawn to stop our squares.
Idea f4. This is a bad move. Black is out of all problems.
Now one bishop is sticking in white side.
Okay, everything is not over yet. I guess the right move here is to play knight e2. So the bishop has no more safe retreat, and then you attack the bishop by rook f3. Knight f3, knight e2, black can play desperate e5, f5.
Yes.
Desperate f5. Hello?
Desperate f5.
Then queen to d3. What are you going to do? I think Biswas would play here knight to e2, cut down the bishop, retreat.
Okay.
So what are you going to do now?
Bishop has to go g7. Back.
Bishop d7, then rook f3.
G.
Rook f3.
Now black is getting slight play.
Then bishop d4 only move. Huh?
Yeah.
Then take and play queen to
Queen to
d3.
d3.
आइडिया रूक d1, वो पॉन तो गया.
Yeah, that can happen.
और rook d3, rather take now ne2 with the idea rook f3, that is better rook f3, because then rook d3, rook double and swipe that pawn.
Yes.
It is not difficult to find that move, right?
Yes.
Better. Let's see that Saranya Gupta. I like chess commentary because you don't have tension, you have to just enjoy, have some fun.
But when you are on the board, sometimes you.
No, I used to have fun when I was playing seriously,
Yeah.
but that time I was a serious player, so focus was there. So it is never too late to become a serious player again.
Yeah, it's never too late. So whenever you start preparing, please join me via Google Meet.
I think I am just joking. Everybody is not Korchnoi or Smyslov to play good chess at around 70-year-old. Huh?
Even Gary stopped.
Oh, I am now 69. I will be. So I don't think it is a good idea.
There is 1 year left. Let's have fun in last.
So this is plus for white. Okay. Space on the king side. So the typical end game. Okay, I think black is better already.
That
So very fast played Brishti Mukherjee.
yes.
Nivedita versus Marsana. Then Mayur versus. Alright, right on the top board, interesting games. Okay. So Bhakti Kulkarni, she has played the rook f8 so that preparing to castle.
Yeah.
She is preparing to castle.
I think it's going to be long game.
Huh?
This one is going to be long game.
No, not really, because I think the position is getting very strong. Now white should play rg3 because castle chance is gone. Rook g3.
Targeting g7.
Huh?
Targeting g7.
G7, or you can prepare, repeat once.
Okay, knight h3 has been played and then castle.
Why knight s3? You should not have given time. See, the thematic move in this position.
No, maybe
No.
the idea is g4,
No, no.
g5. White takes knight g5.
No. The thematic idea, you got to go for the f5 break.
Yeah.
F5 break is the, see, I would say if I am playing white, First I will try to maneuver my knight to e3, because threatening a sacrifice any time, number one. And number two, I will intending to play bg4 and f4 f5. I will maneuver the knight. So at this moment, this, this. Now
Can you
you,
tell me the move number? Well, okay, bishop e2.
after b2, you play not this move. Rook g3 is more correct.
Okay.
So this makes a room for the knight. rg3. What you are going to do?
Rook on g3 instead of rook on f3.
Huh?
Rook g3, then rook g8 is the only possible. No.
Rook g3. The idea is stop castle. The whole thing is knight must come.
Yeah.
You got to bring your knight to e3.
But rook on g3, knight f5 is coming.
Knight f5 is coming.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah, again,
then
rook g3 or
then in that case the correct move is to play nf3, nd2, nf1, n2, knight ef3, nd2, knight f3 castle, right? Castle, right?
yeah.
Then knight to d2. Then
We are going to take a tour.
no, I am thinking of sometimes sacrifice also.
Okay.
Knight to d2. What are you going to do?
f6.
f6. Then I will play f4. I will maneuver my knight to e3. Then the thematic punch on f5. I am ready. I am threatening some sacrifice on c4 also.
f4, then fe5.
fe5, fe5.
Now rook f8.
Oh, rook f8 has little value because I have got bishop f3 also, knight f1 also.
So after rook f8, my target is to play knight f5.
That is, knight f5 is not settled because g4 will come. After knight f1, I think quickly he should knight f3, knight d2, bring the knight to the structural requirement. Knight on e3, get ready for f5 break, right?
Yeah.
Knight f1, knight e3, and threatening f4, g4 and f5. Regroup the bishop also. So
Okay, now what should be white's approach here?
now the position, good or bad, white must play g4,
Yeah.
because
Top knight or f5.
yeah, this is there. Or white should play bishop to f4 now, maybe, because they are discouraging the f6 break, right? White play bishop to f4 with the idea g4 and keep the bishop in the long diagonal and regroup the knight. Maybe bishop f4 is a good idea, right? That stops f6. What are you going to do? Black stands better here.
Yeah.
White has mishandled the space in last 3-4 moves. I would say at this point, not this is not the best move. This is not the best move. I would play here knight e2. Hello? This instead of bd3, knight e2.
Bhakti Kulkarni.
This is turned out to be bad, not good for white.
Okay, Mary Gomes versus Monica. After d5, knight e5, knight takes, bishop takes, knight takes, queen.
Mary enjoying a comfortable plus
Yeah.
with little counter play. Marry.
Hmm.
So now before good move with the idea you can paralyze the queen side with a5
Yeah.
plus. Mary is having a comfortable plus.
Yeah.
Very passive position.
Bishop is sitting on d6, not letting black rooks play. Okay. Look at the board number 3, sir.
Now let us say Mary game. Black doubles. Oh, this is unwise. Certainly unwise to do this. This is not the correct move. Okay?
Oh, white can just do e5 first.
Yes, that is what I am concerned. Because nd5 simply grab a pawn.
Yeah.
And also look at this position. In case rook to d8, double the rook.
Hmm.
Eh?
Yeah.
Then white has got bishop to c7.
Yes.
Then rook exchange take with a big edge for right,
Yeah.
or bishop e7. No, bishop c7 is correct. Bishop c7 take. You clear the back rank. Then you can play bishop to b6, right,
Yeah.
with a plus, or even queen c5 plus. Bishop c
This will be better.
bishop c7 take rook into queen into is advantage for white. But she played a5, and I don't know what is in her mind for if e5, knight d5, then pawn into pawn. Huh?
Yeah.
Idea a6. कुछ नहीं मिलेगा. हाँ?
वो तो है.
Okay. So Monica has miscalculated, I think. What is happening?
Something. Bishop has.
Mahalakshmi gives a piece sack. Very interesting.
Mahalakshmi hasn't given piece sack. Rebecca has
Oh,
given.
Rebecca is a piece sack. Rebecca.
So now, what is happening?
Of course, he is getting a pawn. Oh, the c2 is hanging.
Yeah.
That is the point. She is playing in Karpovian style. This is in Karpovian style. Knight check and take it. Eh?
Yeah.
Bishop into c2, knight check and take it. But queen e2, and after this, piece sack, not returning the piece. And I think
Knight c7.
queen into knight.
And now we need to c2 center. Varshina versus Mrudu. What number 4?
Not very happy about the white position.
Yeah.
Mahalakshmi enjoying a better game. What is happening? Murdul.
Yeah.
So as I said, a blockade has come.
Knight h7. But from where you will move that knight?
Preparing to give a pawn sack and enter.
No, but after knight g5, bishop will take it directly.
Why this move? Huh? Why this move? Cannot understand. Hmm? What is the big idea behind this move? Huh?
Okay. What you are saying is
Okay. Let us wait
g5
and.
is okay for black.
Huh?
G5 is okay for black.
No, the position knight comes here. Now I don't see because g4 is not coming. Not coming. Why you have to give knight to there so badly placed? I think this is And anyway, what is happened? Tejaswini versus Dibya. So she closed the position. Not correct. She missed the queen into b7 variation. Right?
Yes.
So she closes the position.
So where will that black bishop go?
I guess white black should have played here queen to e4. Queen to e4. There's a good chance here. But anyway, what she played is enterprising. Where the bishop is going?
I'm thinking about that only.
Now bishop e1 is bad. Bishop e1 is just question mark.
Bishop c3.
Bishop c3 is also not good. Bishop e3 is the correct move. Bishop e1 simply loses a pawn.
Yeah.
Queen to b8. Bishop e1 is bad and bishop c3 is also not good. Not good. Knight into c3. So bishop e3 is the only move.
Yeah.
Bishop e3 only move. Bishop e3 is bad. I mean bishop c3 is bad. Knight into bishop. Then you have to take with the pawn and then the queen enters by a b8. And bishop e1 is a pawn blunder.
Yeah. Directly queen b8 and attacking on
Double attack. Double attack.
and f4.
That means b3 has to be played. b3 anyway queen to b8.
Yes.
Now attack the pawn. You attack.
Bishop e3.
Huh?
Bishop e3.
No. Queen b8 now.
Now queen b8 then d3.
b3 queen b4. Enter the dragon. Queen c3.
Queen b4.
Huh?
g4.
Huh?
g4.
g4. No, that would be asking for trouble, weakening his own king, and that is sort of, so simply queen c3 will come. I think it is a bad position.
Then rook on c1.
Rook on c1, queen b2. Activating the queen is not a good idea. Even you can prepare the preliminary f5, f4 also. All these variations.
Okay, right now if queen goes to b8, white has to first support the.
No, you don't have to play. You can play even queen to a4. Queen f4. Right?
Yes.
So you can postpone all that. Maybe you can do a preliminary preparation. Queen a4 and rook switching the rook to e line, right?
Yeah.
Interesting line. Let us see queen b8. What are you going to do? Hello? b3?
a3.
Huh?
b3.
You have to support the pawn.
Then queen b4 is
No, b4, b3. You can't give material. You have to play b3. Then what about the dynamic g5? Dynamic g5.
pawn captures f4.
Then we are going to check.
Okay, but if pawn captures f4 is there, queen takes knight.
No. Not f4. Queen b8, you play b3, right?
Yeah.
Then I play pawn g5.
Pawn takes pawn.
Bishop into pawn check.
King f1.
Huh? Queen?
King f1.
King f1. King f1 is also asking for trouble. Then I enter with the queen to e4, knight check is coming. Knight g3 check you are allowing, and Bishop maybe come back with knight g3 check. I think this is generating play. I am getting rid of a double pawn. So I think she missed the queen v8 variation. Practically forced b3. b3 is naturally forced. Then queen a3. Idea a5 a4. Idea queen b2. In the given circumstance, white should play queen e2. Thematic queen e2 is necessary, right?
Yes. Okay, can you look at board number 9?
Between Sneha Ardhar.
Is not. Yes. This is not. So on the move number 18, white played knight on c5. Instead
No.
of doing anything, black
See,
simply went for king on f7. So if bishop check comes, king goes to e8.
it is
And
not.
queen decides king d8.
No. It is not a very wise decision. Not a very wise decision.
Because I think black thought if
Oh,
king will get checkmate.
it is not a wise decision because king coming in the middle of the board, it is not wise.
Black is trying to defend its king.
This is suspicious move, I believe. I believe this is a very suspicious move. Hmm?
We'll see what is happening. Oh, bishop e6. Go forward.
No, this check is wrong. The check is wrong. The king is going. Check gets nothing here. No, this is nothing. I would say at the moment king f7. I would play b4. Open the position further. Now, if you have started attack, just it is better to open further. b4, ab, rook into rook, knight into pawn. Then you go rook to a8. What are you going to do?
It will be trouble for black then.
Huh?
It will be trouble for black then.
Yeah. No, maybe because knight into d3 is not possible, right?
Yeah.
Take and the b7 pawn is falling also. I would say, having given up, you go for it. T pawn b4. Take rook into rook, and knight into b4. You can play knight into b7, right?
Yes.
Idea some queen check. Okay. Idea queen h5 check.
Yeah.
b4 should have been played, otherwise that white gets nothing. This consolidated. This is black is consolidated. Absolutely end of the attack. Okay. Chitlangi. Oh no, who is that? Chitlangi is black. Okay, who is this? Soumya Bhakti playing normal. Oh, this is hardly any pressure on the position. You know, this is a bad move, I think. This is a bad move. Because exchange of queens is very easy for black. So, I don't think queen f4 is a good idea. She is preparing for queen g4. Not good. Knight f5 is there anyway. Black has the better game, but finding the correct plan. I think queen to f5 is correct because this game you need to have f6 break followed by open the d file f6 d5. So queen has to go from so that you can have the comfortable break. Keep a I1 c3. Huh? Queen f5. If you play bishop e3 can come.
No, queen f5, bishop e3.
Queen c3.
Yes.
So queen f5 intending to play f6 break. Hmm? Black is better. Mary versus Mary took pawn into pawn. What happened here? So instead of e5 he played g4. It's a wise decision. Simply one pawn up and two bishops. He is mopping up. Mahalakshmi has the better game. Black better. I fail to understand what the knight is doing there, right? This Tejaswini versus Dibya. Black stands better. Tejaswini versus Dibya. Black stands better because she is returning to the earlier variation I recommended. Queen will be better placed on c7. Right? Queen to c2. Not a wise decision. Huh? Hello? Not wise. Queen to c7 now.
What if queen comes to exchange queen?
Queen to f8.
No. Queen to c3.
No, queen c3. No, that is not wise to exchange queen. Queen to c7. Threat. G3 has to be played. Or rook f1 with passive rook f1. Hello, queen c7, g3, right? Huh? And f5, g5, g5. Because if pawn into g5, bishop into c3.
Yeah, that can be done.
Queen c7, you got to defend your pawn.
Yes.
What are you going to do? What are you going to do? c3 means g5. Right?
Yeah.
And rook f1 is obligatory. If you play queen c7, rook f1 is necessary. Otherwise, return the queen to the passive place. Then you have a tempo in the variation. No, rook f1, queen f2 cannot come. So, on queen c7, rook f1 is necessary. Hmm?
Rook E8.
Yeah, she's preparing queen c7 now.
Yes.
Black is having better game, but it is not yet over. In the given circumstances, now Bhakti Kulkarni, no, this is Padmini Raut. Karvade. Good move. Rook 8 is a good move. It is already black better because the bishop does not have an ideal square, because bishop c1 will be a checkmate, and I think you got to play either bd3 or g3. G3 and king g2 is a safe card. G3, queen c7, king g2. The alternative is bd3 and surrender. That is not wise. Not wise. G3, king g2, intending h4 with sort of consolidated. G3 is blunder. Knight into g3 is there. No, knight into g3 cannot come. bd2 is there. What is going to do? Rook f1 is one choice. Idea, bishop to c1 and bb2. Hello? This is Tejaswini game I am talking, that white has a plan. Rook f1, overprotect your weakness with the idea switching the bishop to the long diagonal via c1 and to b2. That is also not so easy because g5 break. You have to watch. What can I do for rook f1? Should be equal. Though black looks better, overprotect your weakness with rook f1, and then you can go to bishop to c1 and g3, king g2, slowly consolidating. Black is better in ऐसा करवड़े game. Sisa Sasadri is better. She is playing thematically. Very better. Who is this Sneha Haldar game?
Too much of screen time, my eyes are hurting.
I think the pawn attacked. There is no reason to give the pawn. Queen c8. Okay. Saina Salonika were Kiran Manisa. White looks better anyway. I don't understand the logic of queen to c5. Saina can play now rook to c1. Saina can play rook c1. Idea c4. Who is this? Arpita. Arpita had an advantage. What happened? Why give this? This is an unnecessary move. This is an unnecessary move giving play to white. Arpita from nowhere, she should have now white played bb4 and bishop a3, giving mobility to white pieces. White must play bb4 now. Who is this? Isa Sharma, Yashika Raut. White is a pawn up, but everything is not that rosy here. rd8 is meeting queen to c8 and d5, then queen exchange with a passer. Not so easy. So only move. Very interesting position. Boda versus Shivani. White is better, but not easy. White should play Queen G3 now. It's not a good idea. Queen into rook check, rook into queen check. Mate is there, but on rook check, king can go uh, to G8 and F6 is hanging. Now queen into G5, queen into check is there. Queen into pawn, check is there. Interesting move. I'm not convinced because rook e6 is not coming. So rook into rook and what you can do? Rook into rook and another rook e8. Not good move. Queen g3 should have been played anyway. Biswas game. Biswa is better. Biswa is better. F5 break is not coming because pawn into F5 you have to play GF5. Then rook A3 and rook D3. Okay. So here rook A, Biswa is preparing rook A3 and double. White has the better game. Plus equal. Good. Bhakti has played very dynamic, giving offering two pawns. Offering two pawns, he opened up. Black is almost big initiative. Context pawn is unplayable, and d3 is coming. d3 is coming. Soumya is in trouble. Soumya is in trouble. Bhakti Gulkan is winning. Bishop into pawn. Now rook to b2. Then pawn to d3. Idea knight e5. She is in trouble. Even simple pawn takes pawn also. She is in trouble. Bishop into pawn. No, just pawn into c3. Pawn into c3. Rook into is unplayable. Pawn into c3 is, I think, bringing a quick attack. I think pawn takes c3 here. Rook takes is not possible. Knight check, and rook d4 is coming. bc2 is coming. ne5 coming. Into deep trouble for white. Well played by Bhakti. And also white is having a time trouble. This is Monica. Mary. So two bishop for a rook is not a big deal. bg3, rook into, queen into. It's not a big deal. Two bishop for a rook and pawn is not great. So Mahalakshmi. Today's games are very interesting. She is preparing a g5 break. Should be not be so much worry. Now, should not be so much worry. Hello? g3.
G3 and pawn is saved.
Huh?
G3 and pawn is saved.
g3 and king g2 is trying to hang on to the position, but g3 is quite risky business also.
Yeah, that is true.
Because weakening a king side, eventually the knight can come to g4, and g5 is there, then bishop sack, bg3 sack.
That is true.
It is all trouble. Okay. Huh? g5 is a threat.
Just a moment. Okay. G5.
g5 is a threat, and queen e7. One of the idea of queen c7, you can also prepare queen to e7 and queen h4,
Yes.
generating some play.
That rook has to come from b1, b2, or like moving queen c.
Rook b1, I will play g5.
Okay. G3.
g3, then maybe I will play knight to f6 idea. Knight f6 is not coming, gf is coming. Maybe in that case, pawn into pawn, g5 into f4,
Pawn into pawn.
then another g5,
Oh, two G5 is coming.
second g5 comes.
Yes.
Hmm? Already in trouble. But
Lot of trouble.
the best game of the day is Bhakti Kulkarni's game because she offered two pawn to open up at the right time at right place.
Yeah.
Bhakti played very dynamic and exploited the position. See, Bhakti, see, look at this, look at this. She played here, first move, good move. Now f6, good move. e5, good move. d4, good move. Now I recommend pawn takes pawn. What are you going to do for pawn into pawn? Because if you play g5, r d4 is entering.
Yes.
And now, because immediate bc2, rook b2 is there. Now pawn into c2, c3, bc2 is just a killer.
Yeah.
It is a killer. Pawn into pawn. What are you going to do? g5 is bad. What are you going to do? The knight is entering to d4, rook is entering to d4. Huh? What are you going to do here? King.
Everyone is entering.
Pawn into c3.
Yeah.
The d4 square, e5 square, all in the भगवान पे भरोसा पे. Leaving it to God, please.
No, but white play on something on king side?
Queen side, when death is at the jaws of death are showing, when there are opponent is coming with pattern tank and guns, there is showing the pistol. So pawn into c3, I think it is getting worse. Huh?
Yeah.
You want to go further kf1, bishop into, or maybe knight into also.
No, I don't want to go first.
That is bad. Bishop c3 is bad. Pawn into c3, bishop c2 tempo. Huh?
Yeah.
Then bishop d3, and there is a potential passer on the 6th rank, 7th rank. Maybe his white is hoping to play e6, idea queen exchange and two pass pawns.
Yes. That can happen.
No, it is not going to happen. Queen into queen and rook into f6.
Oh.
Or pawn into f6. So pawn into c3. What are you going to do? You want to play e6? Yeah, there is a possibility black will survive. White will survive. So, what can you...
Pawn takes c3.
No, pawn takes c3 is going to play e6 and exchange. Now, the material will be equal, then without queens of the board, white will breathe safely.
Yeah.
Pawn into pawn, you have got e6. Okay, I have another idea,
Which is?
which is just play reckless g5. If you unpass knight into pawn and knight into e5. See, immediate threat is the white survival is e6, right? So what to survive by e6. So g5 now, you go away from that area. And if you unpass a knight tempo and knight into e5. How about that? Or intermediary bc2, Now rook b2, then g5, so that you take away f5 square. You get my point?
Yeah.
Now immediate bishop c2 first.
Yes.
Rook attack. rb2, g5, pawn into pawn, knight into g6. Then queen has no good square. No good square.
Queen has to be somewhere good, but
So queen has to go f3. Queen f3, knight into e5, and that should be the end of the game. See, bishop c2,
yes.
rook attack.
Yes.
Rook b2,
Yes.
g5.
Yes.
So queen cannot go to f3, knight into e5 is there.
Yeah.
So n pass,
Yeah.
knight into g6, queen attack.
Yeah.
Queen has only one logical square. One logical, oh, queen d2 is there also, but doesn't matter. Queen d2, even d3 will come. Then queen f3, knight e5 is coming. I think the position is in very bad way for white. Just think of the variation bc2.
B2.
Huh.
B2.
No, you can play e6, e5, e6, e7 threat. If you play e6, uh, I would like to take a simple.
Rook takes f6.
No, this is bad. This is bad. I think she lost the thread of the game. Player is so good here because now you have a chance to return the piece, because I will get the piece. The main point is I will wriggle out of the mess. I will wriggle out of the mess. Now e6. e6, rook f6 is coming. Queen into queen. Pawn into pawn. I think this will save a lot of problem. Queen into c4 is also there. Here, pawn into pawn and queen a4. I don't know what she is missing. Simply bc2 was crushing. At this moment, bc2 is crushing. देखिए, see,
Yeah.
bc2 rook attack, g5 and pass forced. है?
Yeah.
Crushing. Okay. No, here she played king e1. bc2 is crushing. I think this is bad. This would be bad in view of pawn into pawn and queen into a4. Now rook at e3 is there, no? Pawn into pawn, queen a4, queen into e5 check, rook e3. Okay? Hello?
Pawn into pawn.
The pawn into d3, queen into a4. Or bc2 is coming. I don't believe bc2 can come. So pawn into pawn now. You got to take pawn into pawn. Then queen a4. Queen into e5. re3. Oh, there is a knight check. But that is only a check. You have because equal, you can give exchange. When you are getting mated, this something survival. I don't see. Even if a move like b3 can come, right?
Yes.
So she missed the simple variation. She played after the move king e1, bishop c2 and g5 is overwhelming. Overwhelming. It's a pity after playing so good, Bhakti missed the simple variation bc2. and followed by g5 with a crossing position. But now the game fizzles out after queen into a4, queen into e5, or pawn into e2. I don't think there is much. There is not much. Bishop f4 can come. Bishop f4 can come. Survived. I think black is having a big initiative. Dibya Deshmukh and Tejaswini. Now she played g3. Now knight to g4. So bishop to d2. Rook. Bishop d2 is coming. So no rook e2 entry. No entry for rook e2.
Okay, sir. There is a key for tomorrow.
अभी क्या क्या करना है मेरे को बता दीजिए. नंबर 1 2 3 लिख दीजिए इधर. नंबर 1 2 3.
Yeah, you just have to come.
वो तो चालू करेगा. देन
I'll show you.
पॉइंट 1.
See, opening OBS.
Yeah. Yes. Second thing, that ASF live cloud. ASF.
Then in Chrome.
ASF.
Yeah.
Yeah, live games. Okay.
Yeah.
Then capture window.
Yes.
Capture.
After window capture is on, you have to look at this.
हाँ हाँ
This.
हाँ
Okay. If
Huh.
it's not showing here,
हाँ
you go here
हाँ.
and click on the round 7 game 5.
Okay,
It
okay.
will be written here. Okay.
Okay, okay, okay.
You click on it, the window capture will be appear.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Window capture. Then audio I don't have to do anything. Audio I don't know. What about stream? Stream key?
It's already added. You
So-
just have to do start streaming here.
That's all.
Right now it's saying stop streaming. Okay.
No, no. Now I will start streaming. No need to do the stream key.
No, nothing.
Just 1 2 3 4.
Yeah.
That's all. Yeah, this is okay. This is okay. This is okay. This is the only I have to just see.
Yeah. So we have just scheduled a stream from beforehand,
Huh.
so that you don't have to do anything.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. This is a key for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you need any kind of assistance, just call me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Everything is fine. All right. So this is okay. इसको बड़ा करना है तो इसको F11. बड़ा करना है तो F11. इसको बड़ा करना है.
Go to Chrome from mouse. Yes.
Yeah, okay.
हाँ.
Now this spells some trouble. This spells some trouble. It's an interesting situation is here between the game Tejaswini and Dibya. Now the thematic G5 pawn into pawn, bishop into pawn into knight. Not correct. Not easy to make any headway for black cannot do any immediate headway. The G5 will be very risky to offer a pawn. Knight G4, bishop to D2, now G5, H3 is there. H3 is there. Is that working? Knight G4, BD2, G5, H3, pawn into pawn, pawn into G4. No, you can play Ng4, bishop D2, G5, H3. The knight can return. Knight can return to f6. Then gf5. Knight can go to h5. It looks really difficult still for white. After ng4 and bishop to d2, g5, s3, knight back to f6, f into g5, knight h5. Still, the variation is difficult because the g pawn falls and the e file in control. So white has passive pieces. Because the main threat is bishop e5 and bishop d4 check. Let's imagine now start with ng4, bd2 is practically forced, then you play g5, then you are mostly white has to push the knight s3, then knight to f6, then f into g4 is forced, then knight h5, knight h5. This is difficult because g3 point is weak and on the main threat is be5 is coming. Rook a2, then bishop into g2. This should be dangerous with the idea of a pawn f4. But that is the only chance black can do now. It's now or never. ng4 bd2 is obligatory. You can't go to f2. That is bad. Rook e4. I don't think it is enterprising because the bishop d3 will come and you can't play rook b4. Then bishop c4 will shut down the rook. Is he preparing to give an exchange sack with queen e7? Is he preparing some kind of queen e7? I don't think so. I don't see. bd3 will push him back. Oh, see, kind of trap here. bd3 is a very funny queen. Rook into e3 and c4. bd3 runs rook into e3 and queen e3 c4, and then the queen is threatened and the bishop is threatened. So this is a trappy move, but it should not be. It should be not correct because you have got simple rook to a2. The defense is here. Rook to a2, idea bf2. I think white will consolidate the position. After rook a2, I don't see any trouble. Only thing that bd3 should not be played because of rook into e3 winning instantly. At the first glance it looks good. Rook is attacked and rook b4 is bad because of bishop c4, but then the stunning rook e3 comes. So I think simple rook to a2, if ng4 bf2, and then preparing for queen e7, then I think king g2 should be okay. No, not king g2, maybe king g2 also, rook e8, you take and rook I think it's okay. Rook a2 should be able to hold the fort. Rook e2 should be able to hold it. Queen e7 bf2, it should not be dangerous. Should not be dangerous. This is a devilish trap. bd3 is a devilish trap. Even king g2 is okay. Even king g2 is okay because you play queen e7 or ng4, you can have a cool retreat to bishop to g1. I don't think anything is there. So thematic ng4 was the key in this position. ng4 was the key when bd2 and then g5 and s3 means knight f6 back with knight s5. That would actually could have given lot of trouble. Could have given a lot of trouble to white. But after they move, rook a2 will consolidate. Queen e7, you have got bg1. Bishop f2 also, not bg1, bf2. Should be okay. Rook e1 is there. Queen c2. Rook e1, queen c2. Should not be a problem. What else you can do? Maybe kf1 to meet rook double, queen e7 to bg1. Then g5. Yeah, it is having also some play. But in any case, the quick bd3 would be a blunder. This is Padmini Raut versus Sai Kotapalli. There is not much progress. Would you believe that black has already squandered 1 hour for this moves already? This is a reckless move by Sai. So could have prepared this break with s3 g4, but it's not good. Now the position he consolidates with b to e6 and return to the queen side. Not much. So it is 5 pawn, 4 pawn, and it will fizzle to a draw. So 4 pawn, 4 pawn. So unlike the game Bhakti Kulkarni and Tejaswini in earlier round, so black managed to win with 4 pawn, 4 pawn. Should be a draw. After rook into a6, rook c5, rook a3 is there. There is fizzle to a draw only. It is this AG Nimi George e7. What happened top board game? Top board game. Sneha Haldar, his sacrifice is not working. What happened to the top board game? So here a bad move. Knight to f4. Knight to f4. White has consolidated the position. White has consolidated. Now black is a pawn down and everything is okay for white now. From a seemingly lost position, White wriggled out. Even in the last round, that position was Soumya was not in a good position, but she managed to win. Today also she was in a very difficult position, and she has wriggled out of the mess. So I think the star is on her way. Very interesting game. Rook A2. It was not the best move, because the problem is that after Queen E7 and G4, the Rook E1 is entering and Queen E4 is entering. After Queen to E7, Bishop to F2, Knight to G4 is coming. It looks gloomy. It looks gloomy. What is doing to go? Queen E7 should be the move. Rook E2 is not correct. NG4 is coming, and BF2 anyway NG4. And now Knight into and anyway NG4 with the idea. I think it is becoming difficult. Knight into, king into. What about NG4 right now? NG4, BF2, G5. Not correct. I don't see white can defend now. There is not much problem. What happened to the fight between the Orissa girls? Should be a draw, not more than that. Okay. White is better. So this is okay. The idea is some queen check coming there, but it's not so dangerous. Not so dangerous. So she went for the g5 break. Who should the only chance is taking? Threatening bishop g3 and threatening knight into e3. So bf2 is obligatory. Bf2 is obligatory. Oh, I see. Bf2 is obligatory move. White to play. There is only force move. The force move. Bf2. What can you do now? Very interesting. Bf2, then pawn f4, bd3, pawn into pawn, bishop into, you have got pawn into f2 check. It is interesting but nothing great. bf2 is force move, then f4 probably, or queen e8. Queen e7 is nothing. After queen e7, bd3, knight into, king into, should be no problem for white. So after bf2, f4, bishop d3, then you have got pawn into pawn, rook into, pawn into f2 check, rook into f2, you have got knight into and queen check. I don't think is it dangerous with the black squares? Could be. Seems to be not so easy to calculate. After bf2, f4 is the only sharp continuation to do something now. And bd3, you can even make a cool retreat. You don't have to give the whole rook. Yeah. Now the only move f4 is the only move that you have to work out. f4, bishop d3, you make a retreat. Now the only move, I think you cannot take allow the bishop to enter, so you can't take that pawn. So bd3 or queen c2. Queen c2 is bad. bd3, in this case let's say pawn into pawn, bishop into, pawn into check, rook into, knight into, then queen into h2 check. I think you'll run away. So on bd3, a cool retreat to rook e7. Rook e7, not rook e8, rook e7, so that it doesn't come with a check. And it's still messy. It is messy. On bf5, and bf5 you have got knight into and pawn into. It's not that clear. Or even you can do on bd3, you can do knight into f2 and rook d3 maybe. Rook d3, bishop attacked. I think queen d3. This sounds very strange to me. This spells a lot of problem, I guess. Now what you are going to do, pawn into pawn, bishop into pawn, re3 is coming. Now pawn into pawn. Only move, you can't take pawn into, knight into f2 and rook e3. The only move is bishop into, then rook e3, bishop into bishop, queen into, queen d2, So you don't have to exchange also. And now even why invite even a move like bishop to e5, bishop e5, idea knight into, no. White has played very quickly this position. I think it is quite troublesome, it seems to me. But black is not having too much time to calculate. What about the variation knight into h2? I can see there are some interesting alternatives. Knight into h2, king into h2, pawn into pawn check, then bishop into rook h4 check, king g2, rook to g4. The variation, there are two variations. Variation number 1, knight into h2, king into h2, pawn into pawn g3, then bishop into g3, rook h4 check, then king to g2. Oh, king g2, rook g4 is there. You recollect the piece, but is it sufficient? It looks like dangerous because the queen is in danger. But there is not a threat. White is not obliged to take. But then pawn g3 pawn. In any case, this line is better than pawn into pawn, bishop into, then rook e3, then bishop into bishop. There is not much danger. Pieces are fizzling out. So knight into h2 probably is the best because the color complex. The white bishop plays no role there. Knight into h2, king h2 is obligatory almost. Then pawn into again king, you cannot take bishop into, that is the problem. But if you play king g2, pawn into bishop, so pawn into pawn, bishop into rook check and rook g4. Yeah, this is possible. Because the king side pawns are wiped out, so there are two pass pawns. So knight into h2 is the most critical move that white has to find. Black has to find. Knight h2 is the critical move. What is he going to do? She is going to attack the rook. That is one thing. The rook can be attacked by bishop d3. Queen d3 is not a problem. Queen d3 is not a problem. Queen d3. Bishop d3 is not correct. Queen d3. What you can do for queen d3? That is intermediary move is there. So knight into h2 is not correct. Queen d3 is coming. The other variation is queen to e7. Queen e7 is critical. bd3 fails to rook e3. Knight s2 is bad because of queen d3 is coming. But what about queen to e7? bd3 can come. Knight into rook m2, rook d3. bd3, knight into f2, rook into f2, pawn into pawn, pawn into pawn. So I would say pawn takes pawn is another critical line. Pawn into pawn, bishop into is forced. Bishop into is forced. Rook e3, bishop into bishop, queen into. Where the queen is going? Queen has to go to d2. Queen has to go to d2. Then queen e5. It looks pretty dangerous. Knight into s2. I think that's not correct. She should have played there pawn into g3 with a plus. Now queen d3 is the main problem. Not king into s2. bd3 is also not a problem. bd3 is not a problem. Queen d3 is the main problem. She should have played pawn into g3 one move before. Here pawn into g3, bishop into g3, rook to e3, then bishop into d6, queen d6, queen d2, queen e5. Was fantastic position for black. But this variation I reject because of the intermediary bd3 is there. Not king into. If you play king into, you will fall for the variation pawn into and rook h4 check and rook g4. But what about the intermediary bishop d3, queen d3, queen d3, queen d3, queen d3, shall you play rook into bishop and pawn into pawn? Rook into bishop and pawn takes pawn. Not enough for the exchange. Bishop e3, not enough. I would say that Dibya missed time trouble. Simple f into g3, bg3, rook e3. Here I recommend f into g3, bg3, rook e3. Then bishop into bishop is obligatory. And then queen into, then queen moves to anywhere, queen e5. Fantastic position. But this variation I reject. If king into h2, black is okay. Pawn into, king into h2 is bad, pawn into check and rook g4. But intermediary move, attacking the rook with bishop or queen. This is the point. This is the point. Oh, oh, I see. She has a move. She has rook e3, rook e3, rook e3 takes. Uh, now rook e3, bishop into e3. Array, knight f3 check. But kf2 is there. Then you have got kf2. You can knight attacking. Is this good for exchange sack? kf2. You have got knight e5 intermediary move. A queen can go somewhere, pawn into pawn check, pawn into bishop. I don't think it is all not so good for because the pieces are less. Can see hang on to queen to e7 now. Queen to e7 is not working. Yeah, it is working. Queen e7 is working because still king into pawn check. You have the same variation. Rook check and rook g4 is still working. Still working. You will have queen for two pieces, but the king side pawns. So still she has a move. Yes, queen e7, and now still the knight is taboo. Still the knight is taboo. I think she is now pawn into pawn will open up line, rook into. What to do now? What are you going to do now? White seems to be, I think a safer card was bd3. It was a safer card instead of queen d3, bd3. But now I think there is trouble. Cannot take the knight. This is false for it. Pawn into pawn check. Then rook check and rook g4. Force moves. Why think now? Time control. Pawn into pawn only move. Then rook check and rook g4. You pick up the piece back or win the queen. Is there an intermediary move? There is an intermediary move like rook e2, but you have a cool, not queen g5, back rank mate, but the cool queen to d8. After the move, pawn into pawn check, king g2, rook g4, or rook h, pawn into pawn, bishop into rook check and rook g4. You have rook e2, yeah, that then queen d8. Even rook into also win because the king pawn ending is winning. Oh no. Rook e2, bishop is supporting that. A simple queen retreat. After bishop into pawn, the queen rook check, king g2, rook g4. Yeah, you should pick up the bishop back. Rook e2, queen d8 is there. Even now, it is. I think rook h4 check. I think she is nothing more than that. Rook h4 check and rook g2, rook g4. And rook e2, you have got cool queen d8. It should be okay. My God, she is thinking. Is there some variation I am missing? No. No. You got to play rook e3 is not a good idea. Rook e3 is not a good idea. You have to play rook check. King g2 you force. Aha, rook g2 is coming. Oh my God, would you miss that? Now the rook check he can play kg2. Of course, you have got rook g4, rook g2, queen g5. You have got saving resources once again. And there is no other move. There is no other move. Rook check kg1, rg4 kg2. You have got queen check e1. We have got queen check e1. Oh no. Rook check kg1. rg4 rg2 queen into g5. King f2. King f2. What to do? King f2. Can you play something like f5 f4? Yeah, this is forced. King to g1 is only move. King g1 only move. King g1, queen into g5, rg2. You have got a queen c1 check. And rook d4. That also spells danger. Aha, I see. But 33 seconds left. Now king g1, rook g4, queen g5 is not so effective. What about queen g5, rook g2? Then you have got, oh I see, queen f1 is there. Now queen g5, rook g2, rook g4, rook g4, kf2. The only move is g2, there is nothing to think. rg2 is a critical moment. rg4, kf2, after kf2 what? Yes. kf2. Then f5. Then you have got queen f3, kf2, f5, queen f3. Then queen check is there. There is a queen check is there. Queen f3 does not work because queen d2 check and queen e2 fails to winning a piece. But there is opposite color bishop, so it could be a draw or some winning chance for black. So I think the critical move is now king f2 only move. f5, there is no other continuation. Any other moves are bad. f5. f5 is the only move. What are you waiting for? f5, f4 is the only move. Come on. But this is bad. Make a repetition. Not a good idea to play king e2. White should Tejaswini should play king to g1 and repeat. Queen check, repeat. kg1. But this gives time to repetition. I think f5 was probably the best under the circumstances. How would you play after instead of queen f6 pawn f5? How you will meet the threat of f4? Now Tejaswini's best hope is king g1 safe course. King coming to e file will spell the risk. Yeah, it should be repeat. Now queen g5, kf2. Now f5. How white is going to meet f4 threat? How is going to meet f4 threat? Because queen f3 ruled out because of queen d2 check. be2 is coming. be2 is coming. I think should repeat. It would be repetition. Instead of losing on time, running out of time. She is almost run out of time. Okay, I don't think you can handle this. How to handle this? It's not dangerous. I think it is not dangerous. I would say pawn to d6 is correct. On bishop check, the king can escape to e2. Pawn d6. The critical move was f5. At the moment, the critical move f5, queen f3 is obligatory. Queen f3 obligatory. Then you get queen check. be2 is obligatory. Okay, this is interesting. But I appreciate the fighting spirit of the young girl from Maharashtra. So in a deep time trouble, she refuses to repeat moves and take a draw, but trying her best. So white is playing correct and logical move. logical move. What you can do now? She is taking every little chance. Queen f3, bd4 check. The king returns to where? To e file e2. Then what? Then again to queen to g6. I see. But that is not. The problem is pawn. Queen f3 has to be played. I think she took too much risk. A safer draw was called for, but now I think black is in trouble. There is no forcing line. Oh, I see. Queen f3 loses to bishop into g3 check and rook f4. Devilish move. Queen f3 loses to bishop into g3 check and rook f4. So you got to move your king, and kg1 is bad. Bishop check, and there is a problem. The bishop king will be choked almost. King e2 is called for. The pass pawn is moving forward, so black's tactics is very limited now, because white has a deadly move d7, and you have to worry about the bishop check also. So queen f3 is ruled out. King e2. kg1, bishop check. Then you have to play king h1. King h1. Then you have queen h6 check. Then queen g1 check. I think he will consolidate. Very interesting encounter. What happened to the top board game? So black has won the game. Bhakti Kulkarni won the game. Huh? Well, she played very well and moral victory. Next. This is Mary versus Monica. Two bishops. It should be good for obviously for white, but white king is exposed. But no f6 break is coming. No f6 break is coming. Should be white is better. This Mahalakshmi black better winning. Black is in a bad way. Divya Deshmukh game was going on. Padmini Raut. White white is 4 pawns, 4 pawns. White is better. Superior bishop, good bishop, bad bishop, or good night, bad bishop. D2 should be played, and after rook D3, good bishop, bad bishop. Still, white is better, but not easy to convert. Clearly better. Draw. It should be a draw. So there are only two games that comes to critical game. That one is Divya's game. What happened to Saina and Kiran Manisha? It is Kiran Manisha is in a winning position. So it should be winning easily because the queen side is settled and just it is a pass pawn is coming with extra piece. Kiran Manisha is winning. Now what about Yasika Raut? Raut. Should be a draw, but black is better, obviously. What is going on here? What did she reply? Yeah, this is safer course. Still, it is not too late. But now D7 is coming. D7 is coming. Bishop into bishop. D7. Then bishop check. King h1. Bishop into g3, d7. Then you have what you have got. You have got queen check. Queen check, queen to f1. You have got bishop check and rook check. Interesting variation comes here. What I mean to say here, bishop into g3. Bishop into g3. If rook g3, you have queen check, but that is not enough. You are not even winning a pawn. bg3, king h1 is forced. What about rook to bg3, king h1? White is winning now, it seems to me, because on bishop g3, king h1, bishop d4 check, king h1, and bishop into bishop, you should simply take the bishop. You run out of checks. Bishop check, king h1 is the only correct move. Then what have you got? Two pawns for a bishop, no fight. Eventually it should win. You can take you can take the pawn, but it is bad. It should win. White is now winning because there seems to be no adequate attack. Rook d4, rook d4 seems the only move, but then bishop into bishop is there. White should win the game now. Alright, I'm going to end the stream now because the decisive games are over and not much. I'm feeling also hungry. So, thank you very much, everybody, being with me. And I will be back tomorrow for the 8th round morning. So, see you again for some more interesting battles. And take care, everybody. Bye.